Hi everyone. Welcome back to the podcast episode. I think this is our podcast number 5. And today we are going to be talking about first-gen journeys. And yeah, my name is Leslie. I'm the founder of First-Gen Chisme, and I'm here with.
Sophia, my name is Sofia Leal, and I help Leslie with First-Gen College Chisme, and I'm also the co-host for the podcast. And then we have our nice special guest today, Estefania. If you would like to introduce yourself first.
Yeah, so my name's Estefania Olivares. So I'm from Southern California. I go to Biola University, which is a private Christian school in Southern California. I'm a senior majoring in communications of sciences and disorders, which essentially I want to be a speech language pathologist. And I'm also a transfer student. So yeah.
Hi everyone, my name is Alberto Reyna. I am a senior as well. So a lot of similarities. I just kind of realized that, Stefania. I'm also a senior. I'm also a transfer student. Stefania and I actually go to the same school, Biola University in SoCal. I'm in a city called San Diego. So it's basically the last city before you hit Tijuana up to Mexico. So really close to the border. I'm a mathematics major with the concentration in secondary ed. So my goal is hopefully to become a middle school math teacher or a high school math teacher. We'll see whichever one opens up first. I'm cool with either. And yeah, we're both really excited to be on the podcast. So Leslie, Sophia, thank you so much for inviting us.
Yeah, exciting.
Okay.
Awesome. Do you want to ask the first question?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
I know you guys
Okay.
talked a little bit about it, like your majors and schools, and like a little bit of your background. But how would you guys identify? So whether that's okay, I'm gonna give mine like the way I identify, and it's like multiple versions, I guess. So like obviously first gen student. I'm DACA Latina. I like to say I'm Mexican American. She, her, hers are my pronouns. Stuff like that. Does that make sense? Okay, so yeah, y'all could have answered it.
Yeah. Okay, I guess I'll go first. So yeah, obviously I'm first gen. I'm also a transfer student. So I actually, after high school, I attended community college for 2 years. And then after that, last fall, I transferred to Biola. So that's where I am now. And I also like to identify as Mexican American because I feel like I have a little bit of both cultures. Like my family's Mexican, but also like I have that American culture as well.
Cool. Yeah. Identify myself as Latino, Mexican American. I was born in the States, but both my parents are born in Mexico, Guadalajara and Guerrero. I identify myself as Chicano. I think I used to use that term a lot more when I was like in elementary school and middle school. I would always call myself Chicano. I've been using that term a lot more. Just it means Mexican American, but I like using that term. Let's see. I I'm also a transfer student as well. Went to community college for 2 years before transferring into Biola. And let's see, first gen, of course. First gen, not only university, but first gen community college. First gen to get my associates, so that's pretty awesome too. And yeah, I think those are the terms that I'd probably use for myself.
Um, so that's great. It's interesting because we all kind of have really similar identities. So it's awesome that the universe kind of connected us and to meet because this is great. And so a question that I would have is like I realized that both of you were transfer students and we didn't actually know that, and we're just curious to know how has your experience been from going into community college and then to university, because I know a lot of students are interested in doing that, but there's not a lot of information about that transferring. There's more information about how you can go to from high school just to college, you know. So is there any advice that you could give, or like share your own story within that transfer identity?
Yeah, definitely. I would say I was scared to go to community college after high school because so many people stereotype it and they're like, no, like if you're going to community college, that means you didn't make it. Like, wow, like you're just going to community college. Like, who cares? So I was kind of scared, but at that time, my family was going through a really hard time financially. So I made the decision to go to community college first, and attend there for 2 years. And then after, I would transfer. And honestly, I didn't have a bad experience. I think you make your own experience. So the people who say they have a bad experience, I mean, maybe, yeah, the community college may not be good, but I also think that you make your own experience. I researched a lot about financial aid. Thankfully, my high school had workshops with like FAFSA and all that financial aid stuff. And then applying to the community college, because I had never done that. Like I had never applied to any type of college. Obviously, my parents didn't know either, so I had to get going and do all that. And so yeah, I actually got to go to community college for completely free. Like I did not pay anything because of the resources that I was able to get, like seeking those financial aid packages and like the resources, calling their financial aid office. It's something you really have to do, is you really have to bug them and keep calling and calling and calling, because if you don't, then honestly they're not going to give you anything. So that's a tip that I have. Like you just have to keep calling and calling. um Community college, I think it really helped me grow, not only in my academics but also as a person, because I also felt like I wasn't prepared to go to a university. So I definitely feel like I grew a lot at community college. And like I said, again, you have to take advantage of all the resources on campus, like the career center, advising. Ask them like, how do I transfer to the specific university that I want to go to, or like how do I get there? For me, I went through IGETC, which is basically all the requirements that you need to complete in order to attend a Cal State University or a UC, which those are used in California. They obviously may be different in other states, but yeah. So I got to complete all of that. And then I made sure with each university that all of my credits would transfer over, that nothing was wrong, obviously. And so I think that really helped me as well. Just meeting with an advisor and knowing that I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing to get where I'm supposed to be going. So that was also really helpful. But I would say when I got to Biola, I did notice the rigor of academic at Biola is pretty rough. Like it's hard, definitely harder than community college, 100%. But I just felt really motivated, and I thought, community college really prepared me for transferring to a university. So I honestly, if you want to go to community college for 2 years, don't be scared to go to it, because at the end of the day, I feel like it's your motivation. And I was super motivated, to get to a university, because that was like, I don't know, that's been my goal ever since I was a child. Like, I'm going to go to a university, I'm going to make my parents proud. And like, honestly, I feel like my parents' support really helped me throughout the way. So yeah, that's a little bit about my side of the story.
Yeah, I relate a lot to that, Estefania. When I was in high school, I didn't really know what community college was. I don't know. People made it seem like it was this limbo, like in between high school and an actual 4-year university, where like you weren't done with high school completely and you weren't into a college completely. So like my idea of community college was honestly not the right idea. I had no, like, I was just like who goes to community college? Like, is it people that didn't finish high school? Is it people that haven't gone to school in a long time? Like, can I even go straight out of high school? Like, I didn't really understand it. So, after doing research, after talking to the right people, I understood that I could go to community college for 2 years to get my GEs, my general education classes, some of my lower division major classes, and I could even get in this some kind of certificate or an associate's degree, you know. So I heard about all these like benefits of community college, and I was like, okay, that's cool, you know, like that's actually really awesome. And then on top of that, like Estefania mentioned, community college is free. I got this thing called the Board of, we call it BOG. It's like Board of Government or something. I think the name is different now, but basically, if you're like a resident of California, community college is free for I'm not sure how many years. Yeah, it's a good amount. It's a good amount of years that they just waive it. I want to say it's 4 years, but I'd have to do more research on that. So my classes were waived, you know. I mean, just in general, community college is not that expensive, thankfully. I think my bill would have been like a little bit less than $1,000, like 900 something. But I mean, that waived it all, you know, like not even a penny. I didn't have to pay a penny. I think the only thing I paid for was my parking permit, which is a lot cheaper compared to a university's parking permit. So, you know, that was awesome. I was already saving money. Although I was saving money because I took a break after high school. I actually took a break. I didn't go straight into college or university after high school. So I had already saved money, but now it's like, okay, I don't have to spend this money because, you know, community college is free for me. And it was interesting because even my parents didn't really understand community college. You know, I told them, yeah, I'm going to go to, you know, the community college here by the house. And they were like, okay, so like, do you go there for like 2 years and then you do another 4 years at a university? Like, I don't get it. Like, is it, can you get your bachelor's degree there? Is it just for fun? Like, what is it? Like my parents didn't even understand community college either. Until like, you know, after a while, thankfully, kind of helped them understand what it was. And my experience was great, honestly. I really enjoyed it. I wish I had more social, like a bigger social life. But unfortunately at community college, a lot of students tend to have not only a heavy school load, but also work. So a lot of the times I would make friends, but we were kind of on the same page where like either they're working in the morning, going to school at night, or vice versa, right? So if I ever meet them, like the time I had free to go study, they were gonna go to work, you know? So like, it was kind of hard to like really connect with people outside of class. So that was a little bummer, but it wasn't too bad because then I found clubs. You know, I kind of saw like the same people that would hang out around like at the library at like 9 p.m. or something. And I would like connect with them, you know? So I really liked it. I didn't know how many resources community college had as well. Not only just like tutoring center, career center, the computer labs, not just in that aspect, but also like the amount of classes they provide. I was like, dang, you know, like if I wanted to, I could go take a, you know, an art class just for fun, you know, just for fun. Again, it's already free. The BOG fee waiver already made it free. And I actually did do that once. Last summer, I went to go take a piano class just for fun. You know, I wanted to kind of like pick that up again. And again, it was free, you know? So ever since that, I just like, you know, I have a lot of respect for community colleges. And I encourage a lot of students, you know, like, hey, if university is it's too expensive, you don't want to take out loans, or maybe you just don't feel prepared, there's too much pressure, then go to community college. You know, there's no shame in that. Like, I don't know why people put so much, you know, this image of like, oh, you're going to community college? Yikes. You know what I mean? Like, I hate that. Like, that's so not cool. And I would see that so much at my high school. If we weren't going to a state school or a UC, University of California school, or even a private school, then like, ooh, like good luck. You know what I mean? And yeah, no. So I encourage a lot community colleges nowadays. To a lot of the students that I meet, even last year I worked as a student representative for my school, and you know, when they would like get a little bit more personal and tell me, you know, I just don't have the money, kind of a thing, I would be like, hey, you know, community college is always an option. Like, don't be afraid to go into that. Just make sure that you're following a correct route, because unfortunately, a lot of students at community college don't meet up with their counselors. They don't know what classes to sign up. They don't know what plan they're following. And then they're in this like pretty toxic routine where they're just taking classes like, you know, out of nowhere, and just random classes. And they're like, I don't even know why I'm taking this class, but I thought I needed it, you know? And it turns out they spent like an extra year, an extra 2 years at community college because they've been taking classes that weren't necessary. So definitely, if community college is an option for you, I would give that piece of advice to really meet up with your academic counselors. Make that plan and check up on that every semester. Make sure that you're on top of it. Make sure that you are following that plan so that you can transfer within the 2 years. And it's even possible to transfer within a year. If there's some schools that accept you during the spring semester, I know most universities accept during the fall, but if there is some school that you're trying to go to that accepts you in the spring, you're able to transfer during the spring as well. I think the cool thing about community college is that they have like more times where you can take more classes, like in the winter. I took like a 4-week class during the winter, which was intense, but it helped me get moving quicker, So yeah, and of course, it's free, and there's a lot of resources into that, and connections to other companies around. So I really liked community college. Honestly, I think it helped me a lot. It helped me prepare, get a better idea of what college life is like, in the sense of balancing out work, balancing out the actual schoolwork, the way professors teach, where it's you only go to class usually 2 times a week, that kind of typical college life. It really helped me get that idea. So one of the things I want to do as my way of giving back to community colleges is hopefully get my master's and teach at a community college, whether that's anything in the math area or in the education area, or anything else that opens up, but I would love to like give back to the community college system by somehow working in that. But yeah, that's been my experience.
Yeah, something I want to add to that is like Alberto was saying, like he really encourages to meet up with your counselor. Like I know when I entered community college, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I was like, I'm only 18. I have a lot of interests. I don't know what I want to do for the rest of my life. It's a lot. I honestly think I switched my majors like 5 times. So like even if you don't know what you want to do, still go and see your counselor, tell them your interest. You can even take like the Myers-Briggs and all these like tests that tell you like what careers would fit you, and then go see your counselor and tell them, hey, these are my interests, like these are some of the schools that I may be interested in, because some schools have like different pathways that you have to take, so you might want to do both, you might want to do one. So I would say that's a huge deal. And then something else that made my experience really great was that I actually got a job at my community college. So I was a peer advisor. So I got to give tours to high school students that wanted to attend the community college. We would do workshops. We would help them register for classes. We would give them recommendations. So I think that also gave me a lot more respect for community college, just seeing everything that they do, all the resources that they have. So like Alberto said, like I would really encourage community college, like, if you're in, if you don't want to go straight to a university, if you don't feel prepared yet, if you don't know what you want to do, or just in general, I recommend it 100%.
Yeah, for sure. I was just gonna say, like, I'm from Kansas, right? And just the fact that pretty much you guys are able to go to college for free blows my mind, because every time that I look for like scholarships, they're mostly in California, and I'm like, I'm in Kansas. Like, no, I wish. Like, I really wish. So that's really amazing. Like, congratulations to you guys.
Yeah.
But I know you guys sort of talked about it, but I was just wanting to get like a little bit more about your guys' experiences when the fact of like, what is something that you wish you would have known before entering college, whether if it was like community college or like the 4-year university? What is something that you wish you would have known, and why?
Alberto, you want to go first?
Yeah, if you want me to go first, that's fine. I would say, I guess this is more in regards to community college. is don't like, this is a big lesson that I learned. How do I explain this? So basically, unfortunately, during my community college days, I would kind of take classes. They were required classes, but I had that mentality of like, um, just keep it in your mind until the test, and then you're done. You know what I mean? And that was bad because, a lot of the times there's a reason why you take lower division classes and then upper division is because what you learn in your lower division, you're gonna really use it for your upper division. So unfortunately, I had this bad, habit of just keeping everything, just pushing everything in my mind for a bit, like temporarily. And as soon as the semester's over, I completely forget it. And by the time I take the next class, like the next upper level class, I'm struggling, and now I'm taking even more time to refresh my mind from something that I learned the previous semester, So I would definitely tell myself like, hey, like you're gonna need this for the rest of the 3-4 years, however long it takes. Really, really keep it in your mind. You really, really just completely understand it to the point where you could teach it to someone else, to the point where you could tutor someone else on it, and just understand the theory, understand the concept behind it, understand everything like completely. Just because, on the long run, it ended up affecting a lot, unfortunately. And yeah, I came into university, to Biola, and now the classes I'm taking are upper division classes, and they're bringing up terms, they're bringing up concepts from what I learned 2 years ago at community, maybe a year ago, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, and the professor, like, he only has an hour and 15 minutes. He's not gonna like, take another hour to refresh my mind on like that concept. So now it was affecting me because I'm in class and I'm just like, I don't remember that, and yeah, you can ask questions, but they can say so much in such a limited time, so now I had to take time, outside of class to refresh so that I could understand now the new material that was coming in. So that was a big bummer. I learned my mistake though. So, now I'm trying to just everything that I learned, just really just like get it down and try to understand everything again to the point where I can really teach someone. Where if I learn something new that has that concept, I can like quickly implement it, because I already learned it like completely. So I would say that in regards to community college. In regards to university, I think something I wish I would have known was, I guess, just how expensive it was. I knew it was expensive, but I guess most of the time I looked at public universities and their prices were a lot lower. I didn't realize how expensive private school was going to be. And Estefania knows this. It's really expensive at Biola, and it's understandable. It's a private university, but I definitely would have wished to know more ways to get scholarships, and just know about the prices, like where it's all coming from.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, kind of similar to that too, because like, I mean, when I was preparing to transfer from community college, like, I honestly didn't even know I was going to go to Biola because I didn't discover it until I was applying to schools to transfer the next year. My dream school was to go to USC, which is the University of Southern California, and it's also a private school here in California. And so a lot of my plans were like completing the IGETC because I was applying to a lot of UCs, like, University of California, San Diego, University of California, Santa Barbara, and then USC. And then, yeah, also not realizing like how expensive it was going to be and like more ways. Like, I definitely did apply to some scholarships, but I definitely could have applied to a lot more, and that would have lowered my tuition my first year there. So definitely I would say look for your scholarships. Like, I promise there are scholarships out there. You just gotta look and you gotta ask people, like, like, hey, do you know of any specific scholarships for this? Like, they even have scholarships if you're left-handed, which I think is so cool. But yeah, so definitely like ask out there, because there are scholarships and there are resources. And then I would say another thing is in community college, I would always stay up late and do work until like 2 or 3 a.m. And the next day, I would have to drive to school, and I was so exhausted. I was like, I can't function. Like, I just can't even pay attention. So then I decided to change that up when I came to Biola. I was like, okay, like, no matter how much work you have, you're going to prioritize your sleep, because I found out for me, well, I guess just in general, but like I couldn't focus if I didn't get my sleep. So I was like, okay, well, if I stay up late and study for this test, and then I'm going to take it the next morning, I'm going to be super tired. I'm not going to remember anything because I didn't get sleep. So I would definitely recommend to prioritize your sleep, because, you know, college is a time where you're going to stay up late. And yes, there will be those times. But if you prioritize your sleep, which I tell Alberto all the time, prioritize your sleep.
I used to stay up really late. Yeah.
If you prioritize your sleep, like you will do a lot better throughout the day the next day, and you will be able to focus.
Stay up on the weekends though. That is fun though. I really miss staying up. I don't really do that much anymore. But I miss. I don't know about you, Estefania, but I miss staying up like 2, 3 a.m. I think that's like one of the highlights of like going to school, honestly.
Yeah.
Staying up and like just doing homework with all your friends, like super late. I don't know about you, Leslie, Sophia, if you guys ever pulled all-nighters for like either tests or projects.
I don't sleep. I don't. I take a nap probably during the day, pero.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm. Same finals week. Oh my gosh, finals week was actually pretty dope.
Oh,
but same thing. I stayed up. I remember one time I stayed up till 6 a.m. And I stayed up in the office. We have like 24-hour access to our department's office, and I would always do homework there. And I remember I stayed up till like 6 a.m. And I woke up because the cleaning lady came in, and I scared her on accident, because like I was, you know, face down on the table, you know, just not like this. And she's like, you know, she's humming to like, I don't know, whatever song. And she's like, you know, coming in, and she comes in to the office that I do work. And she's like, ay, mijo, you know, she's also, she's like, also Latina lady. She was just like, ay, mijo, te quedaste toda la noche, you know. And I was like, you know, hey, like, and that morning I slept only like 2 hours, I think, and then I had my first final at 8 a.m. But hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, you know.
Thankfully,
yeah.
I know.
Yeah, I was gonna say the cleaning lady here too was my best friend. Like I would see her. Yeah, she was cool. Because yeah, I also do stay up because of architecture, so it's kind of like the culture of it. And I don't know, I used to not do that, like, and I like looked down upon it because, like Estefania said, like I need my sleep, but then like after a while you're like, wait, this is kind of fun. So you just keep doing it. It's bad. But
everyone,
it's true though.
Everyone,
no, I was like that, because I don't know about you, Leslie, but like to me, getting a quick food break at 2 a.m. was honestly really fun. And we would leave campus at 2 a.m. for a quick food break, and then come back, you know, to like continue studying.
It's the college life.
Thanks. So like hearing y'all talk about like your motivations and how you have continued to like go to community college, then go to university, but the thing that is different about you both is that you were very focused. You're very focused on what you want, and although at the moment you don't really know what your future looks like, you still know that you want to continue pursuing that, which I find super inspiring because especially being first gen, how do you continue like pushing yourself to reach your goals, so my question for you is, who are your motivators? Like, who motivates you to continue to, push, even though, let's say you fail an exam and you feel like the world is coming down on you. Who do you look to continue your enthusiasm for your studies?
Oh, you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay. Definitely my parents. My parents, they came to the States at a young age, but they didn't come, unfortunately, to go to school. They just came to work. My mom was 17, my dad was 19, and right off the bat, they just went into working. And they could have gone to school. They could have gone, but what they wanted to do was provide for their families back in Mexico. So, and the other day I was talking with them. We were talking about when I was like 8 years old, and during that time, my dad he had 3 jobs. Like, he had construction, he worked as a cook, and he was a jardinero, gardener. And my mom also had, I think she only had 1 job, but it was also very very hardworking. She was a house cleaner, and she was also a babysitter though. So, and hearing all of that, I was just like, dang, like, as a kid, I didn't, I guess I didn't really take into consideration, and I didn't get to thank them for so much that they provided, just always trying to give us the best that they could, and making sure that we had food on the table, making sure that we lived in a nice area, making sure that we lived in a nice place too. And hearing that, seeing my parents, I'm just like, like that's definitely my motivation, just I want to do this for my parents because, they sacrifice so much. My mom always tells me how much she misses Mexico. My dad does share stories here and there about his times in Mexico as well. And it's like, dang, like that's a big sacrifice, that's really big. And again, they did it at a young age. They didn't get to live the memories that the rest of their family lived from anywhere from like, the adult years, basically, because my mom was 17, she was basically still a teenager, and my dad was 19, barely an adult, so they sacrificed a lot. And to me, that's just crazy, and to me, it's not for me to not do something with my life. It's like, it's almost like a slap in the face, like it's almost like saying, who cares about your sacrifices, who cares what you did. So I know, like, it pushes me to continue to, do better in school and to finish, to show my parents, like, hey, your sacrifices, they got me to this, they got me to get my bachelor's degree. They got me to get a master's degree, get a well-paying job. They got me to do what I want to do in the future, things that maybe we couldn't have done if either my parents stayed in Mexico or, so definitely my parents. That's the very number one. I'm always thinking about them, especially when I'm away, because Biola's in the city of Los Angeles, so it's like about 2 hours away. So especially when I'm away from home, as I'm struggling in school, or as I'm like trying to grind out the classes and trying to survive, I'm always thinking about them. I'm just like, hey, like, I know no matter what, like, my parents are proud of me, but I'm doing this for them. I'm doing it for myself, of course. Like, this is what I want to do, but at the same time, I'm doing this to honor them. Honor their sacrifices, honor what they have put on the table. And secondly, my supervisor. I wanted to say my supervisor, or Estefania and I's supervisor. He's not only my supervisor, honestly. He's honestly like, he's my homie, he's my friend, but he's also my mentor. Like, I asked him, like, hey, I want you to mentor me when I first, back in 2018, and he's been mentoring me since then. But yeah, he's also, someone else that motivates me who I come to for motivation as well. When I just feel like I can't keep going, when I feel like I have no more fuel left, I'm like, hey man, I need you to sit down with me, talk with me. I feel like this. And sure enough, this guy, he always has some powerful words. He always has some great words of encouragement. Estefania is a testimony to that as well. And every time I leave his office after a good talk, I'm just like, hey, I seguirle, let's keep going. It's not over. So yeah, I'm gonna bring the my parents and my supervisor.
So good. Yeah, I would definitely say 100% my family as well. Like, ever since I was little, my parents were like, hey, like, we want you to go to college, like, and it was always my dream. Like, yes, like, I'm striving for college, but like growing up, like Alberto would say, like they would always talk about how much they sacrificed to be here because they wanted a better life and a better, like an education for my sister and I. My sister is currently 13, but like every time I hear her talk on the phone with like her family members, or like every time they mention it to me, they're always like, we wanted this for you. And sometimes I even cry because they're like, you're so close to finishing college, and it just makes me cry because I'm like, I'm literally doing this for you. Like, you are my motivation to do this because you sacrifice so much for me and I want to do this for you. And like they tell me, like, when you finish it, it's going to be like we did it too, like we accomplished it too, because they're like, this is everything we've ever wanted for you. So definitely they're my biggest motivation whenever I'm down, which has happened a lot this semester and last semester with being online. I've struggled a lot and my motivation levels have been low, but every time I talk to them, they're always like, no, you can do this, like we believe in you, like you got this. And their words always make me feel a lot better. My uncle as well, he's such a big motivator in my life. He always calls me to check up on me. He's like, hey, you got this, like you're the first generation and you're going to be leading your sister and his two kids, my cousins and everyone else, and it's gonna be great. You got this, like you can do it. So yeah, definitely he is also one of my biggest motivators, and I actually appreciate every time he calls me because it makes me feel a lot better. And like Alberto said, also our supervisor Lester, he just always reminds us like why we're doing this. Like he was talking to us the other day and he was like, why are you doing this? And I was like, you're right. Like, yeah, I'm not motivated. I'm tired. There's a lot going on, but I'm doing this for my parents. I'm doing this for a better future. I'm doing this to be a good example to my sister, not only to my sister, to my cousins, and also to like first gen students that we work with as well. Like, you can do it. Don't give up. It's going to be okay. But yeah, I would say those three.
Yeah, but by being in school, you're opening doors for other people to also come by. Just like how Lester, your supervisor, is doing, opening the door for both of you. Yeah, so that was very beautiful. Thank you for sharing. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, both of your guys' stories of like your family and how they're like your biggest supporters and motivators. Like my eyes are tearing up low key because saying to the dot point or whatever. So something that I would like to ask you guys would be, I know they're like your guys' motivators right now with finishing college. After college, what are you guys looking forward or interested in doing to still continue to succeed and excel?
Yeah, so I'm graduating next December, so like a year from next month. So after that, you can't go to school in the spring because most schools here accept you till the fall. So next fall, I'm planning to apply to grad schools to get my master's in speech language pathology. So I'm hoping to be able to attend grad school fall of 2022. And yeah, hopefully get some experience while I'm not in school that semester, like get an internship and or get like a part-time job doing something speech related. Definitely school is still not over for me. I'm finishing my undergrad, but I'm still going to continue into my master's degree. So I'm very excited for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, so I'm graduating in the spring. But after the spring, I got to do my student teaching for a semester. So that's exciting, you know. And I personally want to go straight into teaching right after I get my bachelor's degree. Um, and you know, like I mentioned, I want to teach high school. I want to teach middle school. Either one is cool, but I do have a bigger part of my heart is for high school students. I've been able to work with high school students. Not only last year as a student representative, but when I was younger, like in through my church volunteering services, that's where I was very connected with high school students, and I loved it. I see what they go through. I see the questions that they have, the struggles that they have, and if I could be like some kind of help for them, then that'd be awesome. Um, and specifically, I also want to work with Latino male students because at Biola, I had the opportunity of being part of a little club that we have called Hermanos, which is specifically for Latino men. And you know, being in that club, I realized that unfortunately, maybe this is only at Biola. I don't know. It might be different at other universities, but unfortunately, there isn't a lot of Latino male leaders. It's something that I noticed at our school, at least. Um, and you know I want more Latino men to like be able to do more for the community, and be able to take up leadership roles. So if there's some way that I can implement that as a teacher, that would be awesome. And I mean, we've all been in high school, so like we know that there's like little clubs during like lunch and stuff, so I think it'd be really cool, like at a high school or something, I open up some kind of Latino club, and I think that could be for all Latinos. And let's say I work at a predominantly white high school. A club for Latinos would be perfect. That's something that I wanted. I went to a predominantly white high school, and I always wanted a Latino, Chicano. They have different names all over different schools, but I always wanted some kind of club like that. And when I went, I like got the form. I wanted to open it up, and I went to go ask teachers, and I just wasn't gonna get a teacher who was gonna become the advisor, and it didn't happen, So that was a big bummer. um, and if I get the opportunity to work at a high school, it'd be really cool if I can do that, and and continue to motivate students since middle school or high school to pursue higher education, and to let them know that um, like there's so many degrees out there that you can choose from, and I'm pretty sure one of them is going to fall into what you want to do. And there's so many options too. You don't have to go again straight into university. If you want to go to community college first, that's totally fine. But yeah, I definitely want to do that. And with my teaching credential, I actually had to get that renewed every so often. So I actually had to end up going into getting my master's like after like 5 years anyway. So I'm for sure gonna go and to get my master's as well sometime. Maybe while I teach, so I can get that master's in education or in curriculum. We'll see. But yeah, that's definitely two of the things for now that I do want to do for sure. Like right after I graduate from Biola.
Yeah. I would say like even for me, like after working with students at community college for a year, being a peer advisor, and then now working at Biola with like the FirstGen program, like I've been involved with students a lot, and I realized that I really like to work with students. I really like to help them out and kind of like mentoring, but in a way like just like helping them out, like, hey, like, yeah, I think this would be good and stuff like that. I also love hearing everyone's stories. I'd want to do something with that. I honestly don't know what as of right now, but I would still want to keep working with students in that way.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I don't know if it's a commonality with like just first gen students, but we always seem to be wanting to help everyone that we possibly can get our hands on. And I love that for us. Like I really do.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a problem with it. Like I don't know. I've been
I
noticing.
think it's because like we went through it and we're like, wow, like I want to help you like go through it and I want to walk with you and do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like a lot of the things that Alberto, you were talking about, like starting your own Latino club and stuff, like that's how exactly I felt in college. So I needed that because it didn't exist. And then also with thinking about your ideas for making a club for Latino men with strength, that's like what Sophia has done but with women who are Latinas. So like we're like it's crazy. Like no, legit, like you're saying about the club, I'm like, okay, that's like what we were doing like last year. So yeah, it's awesome. Like I don't know.
And
And
even like
I feel
with
like
being
both
a
of y'all would
mentor.
be great educators. Sorry, what'd you say?
I was gonna say, and even like being a mentor. I know Leslie, you're a mentor for like the design side. What I forget the title of it, but like your design students, and then like I'm a mentor for like the freshman team here, and it's just crazy. Okay, yeah, a lot of commonality.
It was meant to be, y'all. I'm sorry.
By the way, Sophia, you I saw the story from like the First-Gen Chisme story from when you took over. You mentor 15 students. Like you
Yeah,
meet up with them every week.
every week.
That's insane.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
That's
Sometimes I
insane.
miss it because like college is busy, but I tell them like, okay, just give me a phone call whenever you can. That's it. But yeah,
You go.
For real, yeah. My respects to that because that's insane.
Yeah.
I look over 30 peer mentors, and even then, it's hard to even like connect with them in a month. So yeah, so my respects to you. That's insane.
That's awesome.
Appreciate it.
I mean, no, I'm like we're so happy we were able to connect with y'all because y'all were actually the first people to like reach out to us in terms of doing like a collab, if that was a podcast or anything. And so yeah, it was kind of like, I don't know, it was kind of emotional in a way as well because like this project is something that we've been working really hard on, and we didn't think that like we get to see the impact it does through screens, but we never meet like the actual people, who also are doing great stuff for the community. So I don't know, it's been awesome, like meeting up with y'all. And I guess like my final question would be like any advice that you would give to upcoming first gen students, if that is especially during these times. I think things are really tough for first gen students, especially those who are in high school, seniors, because they don't have the opportunity to maybe do college visits as much as they want, or like I know they could do it virtual, but it's just not the same, so and also thinking about a lot of other missed opportunities that they have. So, and for current college students as well, as you know, online learning can be quite tough if you're not used to it. So, is there any advice that you have learned from your own experience through this virtual year, that you would love to give for anyone who might be listening?
Yeah, I would say definitely don't go through this process alone. Like, even though your family may not know, because my family definitely didn't know. I did all the research on my own, but reach out to people like in the schools or school that you're interested in going to. Like, look into a program, look into the programs they have, and email them, give them a call, talk to them about it, or even like talk to your admissions counselor and just honestly just really tell them like who you are and your story, and like, hey, like this is what I want, like, or do you have any scholarship recommendations that I should apply to, or just different programs, like why do you think this school is good for me? Like, definitely find someone who you can walk alongside with, because just don't do this alone. You're not meant to do this alone. We don't want you to do this alone. So that's definitely my number one tip for students that are entering college. And then as for students who are currently in college, honestly, I would just think about like why you're doing this. Like, why are you doing this? And that has definitely kept me really motivated, is like, why am I doing this? What is the purpose of this? Like, think about your goals and why you're doing this. And I know it can be very stressful, so I would also say plan out like your classes on your Google Calendar or a paper planner, and just write out all the different like extracurriculars, your job, when you're talking to friends, kind of just like time blocking, because I know that has definitely helped me a lot this semester, because I'm a big procrastinator and it just won't go away. I try every semester and it's still there, but definitely planning out has helped me a lot to really see like what I'm pouring my time into. So that leads me to my other point, is really look at what you're spending your time doing and where is that going to take you? Like, is that going to help you or is that not going to help you? So that would be my other tip of advice. And just know that you got this and you can do it and you're awesome.
Stephanie, you basically said everything I wanted to say. But definitely, yeah, definitely, you're not doing this alone. You know, like and I know high schoolers know that. They're like, yeah, I know. I see my other classmates on Zoom with the camera off. You know, like I know I'm not doing this alone. But you know, there's one thing of knowing like that you're doing it alone, and there's one thing deciding to do it alone. You know, and I think that's one thing that they should, you know, definitely take in consideration. Yes, we're not doing it alone, but decide to not do it alone. You know, decide to connect with people, decide to even meet up through Zoom, if it's possible, depending what state you're in, to meet in person with social distancing, so that you have that motivation. You know, because we like it's so hard. You know, I know everyone is tired of just sitting in front of a screen. I'm not sure how long high schoolers are sitting in front of a screen for, but I'm assuming it might be the same amount of time they would have been in school during like before all of this, and then plus the homework, right? So I know everyone's in front of a screen for a long time, so you know, take that time to just get away from the screen. Practice some self-care method, whatever that is for you. You know, if sleeping is your self-care method, if it's what does it call it, face mask, if it's going to the beach, if it's calling a friend, eating food, like whatever it is, you know, practice that self-care method, because you got to take care of yourself, especially right now during this pandemic. You know, yeah, taking care of ourselves health-wise, you know, not getting the COVID, but also like mentally, you know, you gotta take care of yourself mentally, like, because unfortunately, COVID's not only messing up things like health-wise, but it's also messing up things mentally, and you wanna make sure that you're in the right mental state when you're making decisions, especially right now. You're you know, you're planning out what university you want to go to. If I remember correctly, a lot of colleges open up their applications sometime during this year, right? November, December, kind of. You know, and you want to have a healthy state of mind, so that you're able to, you know, not make decisions under stress, not make decisions under pressure, under a depressing season. You know, you want to continue to uplift yourself, again, through other people as well, so that you don't make any kind of decision on the fly, you know. And I would also say, just like Estefania was saying, plan things out. You know, plan things out. If you know the deadline for an application is on November 30th, why not try to turn it in 2 weeks before? You know, maybe a week before even. Why not try to do that before? You know, if there's an essay with it, try to plan out to send it to whatever teacher is going to help you, you know, revise that essay. I don't know, maybe 2 weeks, a week before it's actually due, right? FAFSA as well. You know, get that done. And same thing, plan all of those dates. You know, I use Google Calendar and I love it. So plan those dates accordingly to how the year goes. And then lastly, I guess I would say, don't be afraid of sharing your story. You know, if the school you're applying to asks you for an essay, and it says some kind of prompt about your life. You know, don't be scared to bring up your background. Don't be scared of bringing your culture, bringing your identity, who you are. You know, show who you are. You know, because you want to show that you're a unique person. You know, I'm pretty sure schools don't want to hear that cookie cutter stuff. You know, like they want to see something different. They want to see diversity. So don't be ashamed of, you know, of your upbringing, of being even first gen, right? Again, for some, that might be something that's like kind of shameful to bring up. Oh, don't be, you know, be proud of it. You know, I know sometimes we don't like to we don't like to be prideful. We say that, you know, being prideful is a bad thing. But I think it's good to be proud of being a person of color, of being first gen, and of your background, you know, where you come from. If it's the ghetto, if it's the city, whatever it is, you know, like be proud that all of that has shaped you to who you are. And don't be scared to put that story into your applications, whether that's scholarships, whether that's schools, internships, whatever it is, you know, don't be scared to bring all that up. So yeah, I would say those.
Yeah, definitely first gen is not something to be shameful of. It's actually something so proud to be of, because you're opening up doors, you're doing great things. So yeah, definitely not shameful at all.
Yeah, wow, that y'all are amazing. Like, no, I really am so happy that we met. Because I don't know, like whoever is going to be in your classroom setting in the future is going to be so lucky, because y'all like are so inspiring. And like you guys are just hustlers, and you just continue to do it the way you just explained everything. I don't know, this has been a great experience for me. Like, um no, really, I'm super flattered. It's just like the fact that y'all reached out and you continue to plan ahead. I think that's super motivating, especially during these hard times, you know, when like for people of color and for and COVID and everything, a lot of stresses are, you know, in the world, but y'all are that light in everything that's going on. So thank you so much. Like for real, for real. Thank you so much for all the work that you're doing and will continue to do. And if y'all ever need help with like any planning for any idea that you might have, please reach out to us. Like we, although we're like half across the world,
For real.
can't unfortunately go to the beach for self-care. We wish we could.
Sorry, that was a Cali thing.
Come to California.
That was a Cali.
Yeah. We could go to the lake.
I have to drive
That's
to
cool
Denver for
too.
that.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool too. Oh my gosh.
For real, like if y'all ever need help, you know, we're here. Like we love helping, you know, other first gen people. And like you said, our identity connects us, and without us being proud of who we are, we would have never met, you know? So yeah, this is awesome. That thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for having us. This was honestly such a great experience. I know for me, I know probably for Alberto as well. It was really good getting to talk to you guys and getting to know a little bit more of each other's stories. And I hope that this helps, you know, some first gen students and it's inspiring. But yeah, definitely thank you for having us. It was our pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so much. Honestly, I remember still seeing. I think it was you, Leslie. You posted on the Facebook page, and I was like, "Oh, dang! Like, what is this?" You know, and I was on my phone, and I was going through the website, and I was like, "This is so cool," you know. This is like, I wish I came up with this, and I also wish I had something like that in high school, you know. Like honestly, like the platform that you guys have is so cool. It's so amazing. The content that you guys are bringing out is so helpful, and I really hope, because I know you guys are in Kansas. But I hope that this content could get out there to like everywhere, you know, all over the states. Cali, you know, especially Cali, we need that. Like we have so many. You know, the cities that I live in have a lot of Latinos, have a lot of students of color, have a lot of first-gen students, and we need that. You know what I mean? So yeah, no, thank you guys so much for us, inviting us, but also, you know, creating this cool page, First-Gen Chisme. And it's definitely helping so many students, and I'm gonna keep promoting it because I want high school students to know about this, and even undergrad students, just so that they have another resource for them.
Yeah, you guys are definitely also inspiring. So cool. Yeah, when Alberto showed us like the page, I don't remember if it was him or a other supervisor, but I was like, dang, that's so cool.
No, y'all are too much. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. Like, that I don't know. I had no idea that it would connect with people from California. I don't know, like, I just made it for, my community in Kansas, but then I started to get like you can see who has visited like the website, and we checked, and it was like California was like ding, 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 ding. So it's like it's really cool, and I guess it says a lot that we do need help with pursuing our education, and it's really nice to see that we're all willing to give back to the community and help uplift each other, so um like I said, thank you for connecting with us. And Sophia, did you want to have any last words?
I was gonna say, like, I know you said it, but if you guys ever need help with anything, like, feel free to reach out to us. Like, we obviously love helping other people out. We can help each other and support each other, even if it's just like, hey, like, what do you suggest for this? Like, honestly, I'm cool with that. Like, please, 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 please. And just, I know it's just crazy because you guys are in California. I'm currently in Kansas, but I know Leslie, she's in Rhode Island. So just the whole different time zones and working around with them, it's like, wow. I would text Leslie and I'm like, 2 p.m. Central Time or Eastern Time? It's like Central for you. It's like 12 for them. And I'm like, what? That's all completely gone. So it was just crazy to me. And it's always like, I don't remember if like as a little girl on TV, they would always have like different time zones. Cuando they were dealing with like interviews like Telemundo lo que sea, ¿verdad? And I'm like, Mom, Dad, like, why are they talking to each other? The world. And as a little girl, I'm like, that's so cool. They're talking to each other, and just like you can communicate like that. And just the fact that we're doing it, even if it's on a smaller level, like it's just as informational as it were to be in the TV. And just to think of that, I'm like, we're doing amazing. Like all of us are doing amazing work, and it's obviously showing, and it's gonna pay itself off in the future. Yeah. So, like Leslie and you guys have said, thank you so much. We love all the work that you guys are doing. If anything comes up, let us know. If you guys need any help, let us know. If we need help, I hope we can reach out to you guys as well.
Yeah, yes, definitely. Feel free to reach out whenever you guys want.
Like in whatever way, I don't know. Like if you guys need help reaching out to colleges, need help connecting with more people, ideas. I don't know. Anyway, same. Let us know.
Ideas for events or anything, or like not events, but like just things to like create and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't know, hopefully one day if Sophia and I go to California, we could go eat tacos.
Yeah. Do you guys like birria? I know a good birria place in LA.
Dude, there we go. Hey, say no more.
No, but we'll be expecting you.
All right. Well, thanks to everyone who was listening to our podcast, and thank you again to Alberto and Estefania for being here, and thanks to our co-host Sophia for also helping us with everything with First-Gen Chisme. It has been a pleasure. Hopefully, we can go eat tacos one day or birria. And if y'all ever want to connect with Alberto or Estefania one day for any questions you may have, we will also link their information below. And so yeah, thanks again, and y'all were awesome. Y'all are great. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, Leslie.
Great. Thanks for having us.
Of course.
All right.
All right.